Welcome back to another edition of Reality Check, your weekly deep dive into all things unscripted television.
Fist bump.
I beg your pardon?
I'm Michael Slezak. I am here with Season 6 American Idol standout Melinda Doolittle, and today we're going to talk about Week 2, Season 13 of American Idol, and we are unofficially brought to you by Megan Joy's new album. Check out that single, Sweet Love. It's really good.
Go Megan Joy.
I'm waiting for you, my sweet love, my sweet love.
This is what I love about American Idol. They're so good, and when you hear their after show music, it's like, thank you very much. This is why I loved you. This is why you're on this show.
Thank you, Megan Joy. Thank you, American Idol. And thank you, Per Blankens. I hope I'm saying his name correctly. You've finally given us what we've been asking for like 13 seasons. You're packing the audition episodes with talent. But Melinda, is it too much of a good thing? Is there ever too much good singing and too many contestants and too much music?
What? Are you kidding?
Et tu, Brute? Am I using that right?
No. I mean, what are we saying? I mean, we really...
I just wanted to ask it to be controversial. I didn't mean it.
You lied.
Half-truth.
Half-truth is a whole lie.
I mean, it's so good, and it makes me excited because I don't ever like to feel like I'm going into it knowing who's gonna, be in the top, knowing exactly what they're doing.
You and I will choose our own destiny. We have free will.
Right now, I only know of one person that they are pimping till the hills.
More on her in a moment.
Rihanna, Miley, like everything's happening for me right now.
It's just a lot of really good, enjoyable singing. I'm having a hard time because there's really almost nothing to complain about at this point.
I love it so much. So I thank you, Mr. Purse, PB. PB, I love you. I'm gonna call him PB for Uncle PB.
I like
Is he
Uncle
yet?
PB. Now, see, I hate saying foreign words, foreign names, especially French. Like, I shut down because when I attempt to pronounce something in French, it's like, Grey Poupon, I just sound like such a rube. And so if I'm reading something, I'll try and skip the French word so I don't sound like an idiot.
Such lofty thoughts require a moment's pause to reflect on their value.
Now, can we get down to business?
Melinda, who did you love from Detroit?
There is someone that was not even on your list. I think you just really missed out on Maurice Townsend.
Really?
Ooh, this feels so crazy.
Yeah, it does.
And oh, this love is blazing.
Yeah.
It made Harry Connick Jr. throw shade on John Legend.
He's the one who should have recorded that.
Yeah, right?
His tone was so gorgeous, the way he handled himself. I loved him.
We're walking on cloud nine.
I just remember the third child in the lineup being like so freaking cute.
He's gonna take us on an adventure.
Oh, and I kind of just forgot what Maurice did. Maybe I should go back and watch it perhaps, but it just didn't make that much of an impression on me. It just didn't.
Are you, okay.
For me, number one by a slim margin, but she's number one in my heart right now for the full season is Jade.
Like the click try.
What she did with You Know I'm No Good, like just the choice of You Know I'm No Good, which is just such an amazing song.
He said, what did you do with him today?
The tone of her voice, it has that like scratchy quality and yet it's smooth at the same time. It's like sandpaper and yet it's also what the sandpaper has worked on. There's the smoothness and the roughness and all that good stuff coming together and the squeak.
You tear me down like Roger Moore.
She would have been my number one had you not completely slighted Maurice. Like, she is so good, and there's something so different about her, just something that you wouldn't expect coming out of her, and her personality is great.
I don't want to patronize you, but you're absolutely adorable.
She just had my attention the entire time, and I absolutely loved her.
I'm also so excited that David Oliver Willis is back.
You were here last year, yes?
I was? Went home in Vegas.
I hadn't quite recovered from what Nicki Minaj did to him last season. Everything seemed to be going well with his performance of Fever, and then he mentioned he was married, and suddenly she turned on him.
You're married?
I am married.
How? Where's your wife?
So to see him come back and slay Too Close, his guitar playing was sensational, and the voice.
I think that the experience did him well because he came back with just a little extra something, that I really loved that I didn't see last season.
You know we have our separate ways.
Not to cop one of Nikki's lines, but he was giving me everything I needed in my life on Wednesday night.
And that being said, can we also talk about who gave me everything I needed, which was Ryan Nisbet.
Ryan's one you're going to remember. He's not going to get lost in the sea of 90 people we've seen over the last 4 weeks. I will give him that. I found the tone of his voice to be just ever so slightly shrill in spots. I thought maybe he pushed it a little too far.
From this dark cold hotel room.
But, he was sick. And he didn't use it as an excuse.
He's got a cold, and he never said anything at the beginning.
He doesn't bitch about it.
Okay, let me tell you what I heard.
Okay.
I heard such an amazing tone. I heard like a theatrical tone to his voice that really excites me because I think that he is very creative with what he does. I think that he did things that were out of the box for that song.
Of your silent revelry.
Even with a cold, he's smart enough to know what his voice will and won't do. He has
even in the spot where it broke and he sort of had to start over.
That one spot, but come on.
May you.
I don't know that you've ever had to sing with a cold and how that has gone, but the way he fixed it.
May you find.
He knew like, oop, that didn't work. Let me place it in a different place. That's some technique that people you don't hear of that on these competitions. And he kind of reminds me a little bit of Adam Lambert. He can't be Adam Lambert. Nobody can be Adam Lambert. Like, you just can't. But he's got that theatrical little edge to him that excites me, and I can't wait to see what else happens.
My singing voice betrays me 100% of the time. Even my mother would have to admit. I'm going to give a 10-second shout out to Sydney because Loving You was sensational.
It's easy 'cause you're beautiful.
And apparently she's my mini-me, which I didn't know, but a lot of people told me that on Twitter.
I will say one weird thing about Detroit, there were 2 contestants that the judges were like, I want a second song. The Haley Reinhart sort of look-alike girl.
Hopefully Melanie Porras could get the Motor City back on track.
And then Carrie.
Yes.
When Carrie sang Radioactive, she took me somewhere. She took me to like the new age. She took me to the toxic landscape.
I feel it in my bones enough to make my system blow.
And they're like, man, let's hear you do something without the guitar. Melanie, when she did that, her guitar playing was flawless.
I loved the restraint that she showed and the style of it.
Fever in the morning, fever all through the night.
For J-Lo to be like, that was safe, I'm like...
I feel like you took a little bit of the safe choices there. I don't know, I think I want to hear something else.
Are you related to Haley, my pretty?
Witchcraft. When am I gonna ever stop being surprised?
I mean, seriously.
That's J-Lo's real voice that she uses at home. Just,
Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. No, sir.
Why not close your eyes? You'll drift off better that way.
I'm not going to tear her apart yet. She'll give us plenty of opportunity as the season progresses. Let's flip it around and talk about Atlanta. Not quite as action-packed an episode, but there were some really terrific people in Atlanta too.
Can we just take a moment of silence for Majesty Rose?
Majesty.
Majesty?
I do like to call myself Majesty Rose.
Her tone, the quietness of it.
Futures architectured by your carnival of idiots. Sunshine.
Ugh, I love her so much, and her answer.
Is it effortless for you?
I've crafted something in me that just comes out when I sing.
That's
and I do
right.
know that, so.
That's a great answer.
She's a consummate pro, and she's like a preschool teacher.
Some captain of some sinking ship won't stop.
While we're on the subject of Atlanta, Jessica Muse, Blue-Eyed Lie.
Oh.
I was just a blue-eyed lie.
I like that too.
I was just a blue-eyed lie.
Can I download it now? I want to be like Michael Lynch and check her out on iTunes.
Check me out on iTunes.
Her singing obviously was great, but it wasn't just that for me. It was her personality.
I'm either gonna be a successful musician or a broke one.
She seems like a hard worker and she seems very serious. And I know on Idol, like serious doesn't always play well. It's not always likable.
Those kind of contestants don't get all that excited when they make it through. You know, they're kind of a little realistic about it, but she started crying.
Right now, oh my gosh, I don't even have words right now.
This means something to her, and that says a ton to me. So I'm excited about her. Can I just really quickly say that I'm also excited about Jesse Klein, though?
Oh,
Can we just say that
please say it. Please say it.
Ultimate Cinderella.
Those people try to accuse my father, said he made the wrong choice.
Mr. Gas Station Man, I love you.
I just clean and stock everything and then take care of the very few people that come through. You got the wrong number.
He's the kind of contestant that only Idol would give you. You know, no disrespect to The Voice, but it's very much semi-pro. If there was a state called obscurity, they have like literally lifted him out of it.
Yeah.
And put him in the Atlanta audition episode.
Those people haven't long since gone, my father never failed.
Can we disagree with Harry for once? I thought both 15-year-olds needed another 4 or 5 years to percolate.
I can disagree with Harry on the boy.
I hope he buys you flowers.
He was breathing in the middle of words. That's like my biggest pet peeve, is like when you're like in the middle of a word and you take a breath. I'm like, why would you do that?
She's dancing with another man.
I feel like he probably needs a little more time. I feel like the girl just needs a little more restraint.
A little more restraint, or also a lot
there.
more restraint. Like, it was it was like a whole plate of like dialing 1-800 too much.
I dare you to let me be. Oh.
Maybe Uncle PB is looking for her to be one of the bodies that paves the way for the inevitable Marielle victory.
My name is Marielle Sellers, and I plan on being the next American Idol.
Yes!
Prophecies have a nasty way of fulfilling themselves if you let them.
Are we even gonna name her on this show? Are we naming her? Are we gonna say her name again? Because it's not fair.
My name is Marielle Sellers, and I plan on being the next American Idol.
Yes!
We've seen her audition 2 times fully through with an added backstory. She opened up the entire season of American Idol.
She got the same spot that Philip Phillips got in the season 12 opener after he'd won the show. This season has done such an equitable job of like a level playing field for everyone. No one has gotten like enormous backstory or sweeping strings or having J-Lo be like, I think this girl's the winner, until Marielle.
I love Marielle, but I loved even more.
Excuse me? No more cameras, please.
And then Harry cut her off before she could even say a second name.
Look, we watched her sit by a lake. Like, we had to go through her sitting by a lake and telling her whole story. I mean, they meant this.
You are going to be a nightmare for the other competitors in this competition.
You know, I don't mean to trash the girl before we even know her, and everything about her seemed likable and cool.
Yeah.
But if I'm being dead honest, out of the 90 or so people we've seen singing over the first 4 episodes, she's maybe in the top 30.
You were trouble from the first kiss, had your eyes wide open. Why were they open?
Uncle PB is allowed one mistake. We give you that. Like, you can have 3 mistakes in the audition episodes, and I still wouldn't be mad at you, Uncle PB.
He's bringing back Randy Jackson.
Is there any chance that this is just a bad dream?
Afraid not.
So that's mistake.
Do you get kickbacks from Big Buzzkill?
Listen, he's got to bring back
this is
some
Haley
black on the
Steinfeld.
panel.
You're watching ENTV.
Ooh, my mouth just touched the mic.
I'm Haley Steinfeld, and you're watching ENTV.
Hi, my name is Kiernan Shipka, and you're watching ENTV.
Aubrey Plaza, ENTV. I just touched it with my mouth, sorry.